everybody, thanks for joining as always. Today I want to talk about one of the fundamentals, and it's probably, if you have to classify which one is the most important, I would probably classify the grip as the most important simply because it is your only link to the golf club. If you have a faulty grip, your chances of swinging correctly or what would be deemed correctly are significantly reduced, and if you have a good grip, obviously that the potential rises very quickly. So what I'm going to show you today is how to take a neutral grip. There have been plenty of players that have played with a weaker grip, so where the hands are turned more towards the target. There have been some players that have played, or many players that have played with a strong grip where both hands are turned away from the target. But the reason I want to show you the neutral grip is it gives you the most variety, or at least the ability to hit the most shots, because you can always go from neutral to strong or neutral to weak with only one step, so to speak. If you're strong, and you want to have a weaker grip for a shot, you've got to move it 2 steps. You got to go to neutral, then you got to go to weak, and vice versa. So what we found out is having a neutral grip gives you the widest range of options for the most amount of shots, be that high, low, left, right, and then all the shots that fit in between there. So what I'd like to do is start with the lead hand. So for the right-handers out there, this is going to be your left hand. Now, a lot of people will tell you that when you take your grip, you would hold the club at about a 45-degree angle. You would take your left index finger, the first digit of your left index finger, you put the grip through there, and then you would hold the club under the palm of your hand, and then you would close it down from there. Now, you'll notice that that goes on an angle from the first digit of your index finger through the base of your hand. To me, I'm not a very big fan of that grip because it puts the grip too much up into the hand and the palm, and it gives it too much potential for it to move around, okay? What I prefer, and that I've shown many students, in particular those who have weaker hands and or kids or women, and even the top level golfers that we worked with, is if you put it, obviously, still again, through the first digit of your left index finger, but it goes through the bottom digit of your little finger, your pinky finger, you notice that that angle is not as drastic as it was before, okay? So it goes that way. What'll happen then is your hand, which is from the base of your fingers to your wrist, will wrap more on top of the club. Okay, so it will be more like this. The conventional way, the hand was in a weaker position and the club had the potential to move around too easy. In the position I'm advocating, where it's more in the fingers, the hand is more on top, and now that gives you more of a vice-like feel because your fingers are squeezed down, pulling up on the grip this way, and your hand is pushing down, which gives it that vice-like contraction. You are now in more control of the grip than the club being in control of you. Your thumb will fall just to the right of the center, and for some of those who are new to the game, the center of the shaft should be, you should have a series of white dots on your grip that denote the center of the club. So your thumb should be to the right of that. That would be your lead hand. That would be a neutral position. You should see at least 2 knuckles on your left hand, and that would be if you're looking straight down at it. That does not mean set the club on the ground and turn your head and say, yeah, I can see 2 or more knuckles. No, it means hand straight out in front of you and looking down, how many knuckles do you see? Okay, I can see 2. That is very important because at impact, the handle of the club and your left hand are right in front of your left thigh. For most of you, if you were to stand at what would be considered attention, roll your hands in front of your thighs to where it's in front of the crease of your pants, you'll notice if you squeezed your hand, if you're holding your grip, that you could see, for most of you, 2 knuckles, if not a couple more. So what you're doing is you're putting your hand in a neutral position, how it hangs naturally from your body, in the same position you would be for impact. And if your hand is neutral, the club face is going to be neutral. It's going to be much easier for you to hit shots with a neutral club face, okay? That's the lead hand. Now the trail hand, there's a couple different varieties, and it's usually going to be built on, or based off how you're built. If you tend to have longer fingers and or bigger hands, even if you get oversized grips, you'll have a tendency for your hand to wrap around the grip more. So your lifeline of your trail hand, for right hand is your right hand, that is more or less going to go right on top and cover your left thumb. So you'll notice in that grip, you really can't see any portion of my left thumb, okay? If you have slightly smaller hands and or shorter fingers, you're going to take the grip and you will see at least probably half of your left thumb because you don't have the fingers to wrap over. So as your fingers are shorter, you're going to see about half of your thumb. If you have really short fingers and or small hands, you're going to take what would be considered probably a stronger grip where the right hand is a little more under, or appears to be under, and you'll see more of the lead thumb, okay? There is not a correct way that is better than the other, but what is important is that you grip it that works for you. I would not change it unless the grip is causing trouble throughout the swing. Now, as you get into the swing, each of those trail hand positions will cause you to take the club away different, okay? If you had where your trail hand was covering your thumb completely, that will lend itself to you having a longer takeaway where the right arm stays higher, longer than the trail arm, and the right elbow will be on top of the left elbow for longer, okay? You'll have a later wrist hinge. If you have a medium where you're covering half of your thumb with the trail hand, as you take the club away, the club will fold a little sooner, about midway back, and then you can complete your backswing from there. If you have where you can see the most of your lead hand thumb, okay, and you have what would be deemed a slightly stronger grip with the right hand, as you take it away, it will roll around you or come around your body sooner, okay? So those are three different takeaways. Again, there is not one that's better than the other, but what is important is that however you're built, meaning your hands, that you match that with your takeaway, and you don't try to do things conversely, meaning if you have your shorter, smaller hands and you have what would be considered the stronger trail hand, you wouldn't try to take it and keep the right arm up on top. That goes converse to the way that each grip works with a takeaway. So again, work with what you have, the way you're built. You can't change it, but make sure that you use your grip in unison with the way you're built, and your game and your ball striking are going to improve, and you're going to be a hell of a lot happier. Hey everybody, Pete here from the Golf Paradigm. Thanks for watching the video. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to watch more videos or subscribe, you can do it right here.